why did he? 28 years old male. Forgive me. 27 years old female. My BF and I have been dating for 7 years now. This is his first relationship and my fourth. We've been dating since college and honestly it has been amazing. I feel like he's my soulmate and is the best thing that has ever happened to me, which is why what I did was so deplorable. We've been living together for the past year now. Ever since the pandemic. He was so busy with work. He works in a genetics pharmaceutical company and has been working late nights since his company is one of many trying to help the country with the whole virus issue. During this time I've been working from home and well, due to feeling lonely I started talking to a co-worker of mine. It was innocent at first, we just talked like friends, and since we lived closer to each other, we often met for lunch or went over to each other's places to work together or finish up a work project. My BF was fine with it and encouraged it since he had been so busy and didn't like seeing me sad. I should have stopped, instead he started hanging out more and more. One night my BF had to work overnight due to something going wrong at work and he was called in to fix it. I was feeling so lonely that I went over to my co-workers for a drink and well, one thing led to another and we slept together. The guilt didn't set in until the morning after when I got a message from him asking if he wants me bring anything for breakfast on his way back. I was so ashamed and hated myself. I rushed home and told my co-worker that this never happened and to not contact me again. I came home minutes before he pulled in. He was so exhausted that he showered and went for a nap. I on the other hand couldn't comprehend what to do. I knew confessing meant an end to our relationship. I had originally decided not to say anything, but when he woke up and went about his day, I started seeing every little action he did for me. He cooked dinner most nights, cleaned the dishes, starting ridiculous conversations just to interact with me, and I just couldn't hide it. After dinner, I sat him down on our bed and confessed. I've never cried so much in my entire life. He looked so defeated and broken. I've never seen him in so much pain before. He just got up, took a pillow and a blanket and said we'll talk tomorrow, without even looking at me, and left. I spent the night crying in our bed while he slept on the couch asking for space. I finally fell asleep due to exhaustion. In the morning, I came out to see breakfast made and he was missing. I was crushed thinking he just left until I found his letter which just told me to meet him at a local outdoor singles bar at 8 PM tomorrow and to wear something nice. All sorts of ideas were going in my head. Was this message saying we over? Is he gonna ask another girl out in front of me to show me how it felt? He hates cheaters with a burning passion. He broke off his friendship with his best friend whom he had known for 10 years because she cheated on her ex. He had even cut his brother off for 2 years when he found out that he was cheating on his sil. I tried calling, messaging him, but he had blocked me on everything. With what little hope I had to get him back, I went to the bar the next day. He was there drinking alone when he noticed me. He came up to me and introduced himself. I couldn't help but cry and ask for forgiveness again, and all he said was that he didn't know me and wanted to buy me a drink. I was so confused but played along, wiping my tears. It took a while for me to catch on, but apparently he wanted me to pretend as if we didn't know each other. It was so confusing, but I went along with it cause at that moment all I wanted was for him to talk to me. He then invited me to his hotel room. He then initiated intimacy and it was the best sex we ever had. It was so emotional and powerful that we ended up falling asleep afterwards. In the morning, I woke up to him holding me and looking at me. It seemed like he'd been crying. He asked me to be quiet and then said that he loved me. To never cheat again and pretend as if that never happened. I tried saying something but he shushed and just held me tightly. We came home afterwards and he's been his normal self. I don't know what to do. This is not what I expected. I was expecting months of screaming, shouting and crying. For him to demand access to my phone and whereabouts all the time. He's done nothing. I'm worried for him as this doesn't seem healthy or normal. How can someone who sees cheating in such a negative light to move on from it in just 2 days? I feel like he's in denial or something. I want to bring up my concerns, but I'm afraid I'll lose him forever if I push too much. I also can't help but wonder if he was cheating this entire time as well. If these extra hours at work was him being with someone else. He's also suddenly cut back his hours even though before he made it seem that he had to be there. I'm so confused on how process and proceed from here. Please help me. I need this to make sense. How should I talk to him about this? TL. I had a one night stand boyfriend who's super anti-cheating seems to have forgiven me in just a few days. Don't know how to process this. Really worried about his mental health. Ex-girlfriend and ex-best friend. I try to keep this as short. And I'm on mobile forgive for any mistakes my ex left me for my ex-best friend 2 years ago after a long year affair before I caught them. There were red flags but I chose to ignore. When I caught them red-handed making out at a mutual friend's party I went NC immediately together with all those mutual friends knew about the affair and decided to protect them. They tried to contact me severally to get closure asking for forgiveness, and all those people who I thought were my friends asking me to forgive them. And even had the gut to tell me they had fallen in love with each and I should just forget and let them be. I decide to quit my work and move across the country to another place to start a new life as everything I knew was spinning around and was all over the place. After 2 weeks ago and my ex-best friend little sister gets a seizure at my sister's BFS place. She's one of the few people I maintained contact with as she was understanding and supportive and never tried to support them. In fact their relationship took a nosedive. She secretly had crush on me but we worked it out. She and my little sister are still good friends. Anyway my sister calls me in the middle of the night and we rush her at the hospital. I am security consultant at different hospitals in the county and so she gets the treatment quickly as I know a lot of doctors and nurses there. 2 hours later my ex-best friend and my ex arrive at the hospital to check on his sister. I walk out of the minute they arrive and go to chat with the receptionist and a bunch of other nurses. And then my ex-best friend approaches me to thank me. He was humble and a face full of shame. I just look at him, put my hand on his shoulder and tell him, I did it for your sister and I did what anybody else would do and walks past him. He follows me and blurt out I'm sorry for how things ended. We are sorry. My ex joins in. We should have told you that we had feelings for each other. I know you are still mad and we understand that you don't want to forgive us but we just want to apologize. I turn, look at them and proceed to walk through the hallway and outside. A nurse and a friend who knows my story follows me and comes to check on me. I just felt numb the whole time. I really didn't know what to feel. I guess there is still some pain of betrayal that still lingers at the back of my head. I just went back inside, told them that I have forgiven them and am happy they are happy together. Even though I'm not, but they should stay the f out of my life. I guess I just wanted to give them the closure they wanted. They said they understood, and me and my sister left a little afterwards. I'm not looking for advice, it's just a rant. I can't even get a love letter. I am 32 and my spouse is 33. I'm the WS and he's the BS. We have 2 DDs throughout 2 years. I stepped away because of strong feelings of neglect. I never felt pretty or even desired. The only time I can remember feeling wanted by my spouse was while I was pregnant 4 years ago. Things have changed of course but we are still together and when things are going okay, we have fun. But today is just a very low day for me. Today I remembered a time I asked my husband for a love letter. This was long before the second DD. I just wanted some kind of token. If he wouldn't say something to me about how I look without me fussing about it first, maybe it would be easier for him to write it down. No. He said, when you do something worth it, I'll write you a letter, or something to that effect. Either way it hurt a lot. That was a long time ago. Still nothing. His main complaints are my housekeeping. My main complaints are his lack of affection. We'll have sex maybe twice a month. I love my husband. But I just don't think he loves me. I don't know what to really do at this point. I can't even get a love letter. All the things I want from him I do for him. Compliment him, buy him gifts, rub his back when he's hurt, etc. But it seems I can barely get those things back. Sure, I'll get a foot rub occasionally, but I want more. Maybe I'm just asking for too much.